Let me tell you the exact number of pieces which broke on me during this build. The number which may surprise you. Rightio, so I picked up the Ultimate Collector Series Sandcrawler from LEGO Star Wars and their 2014 line. This set is really notorious in the LEGO community, although not for the right reasons. I will get into that later on. I'm sure you already have an inkling. A lot of people believe that in the year of 2026, you should not go near this set at all. Don't even go near it. It's a no-go. However, as a completionist, I felt compelled to not only pick one up for myself, but also build it. And in the year of 2026, report back to you with my findings regarding those little issues, or maybe big issues, that the LEGO community seem to have with the Sandcrawler. And I think I've got everything working correctly. I mean, that works. At some point during the build, it didn't. I had to go back. That's a bit weird. Yeah, that's the crane doing that. I was a bit worried for a moment. This is one of those sets where during the build, you just kind of want to get it done. The fact that I was getting closer to finishing the build, it was more so I wouldn't have to continue building it rather than, oh, this is looking good, you know? Like the tension will be over, so to speak. In terms of the bricks holding up though, everything went incredibly smoothly, more so than I was anticipating. In fact, you know, entire sections I was able to get completed pretty much without a hitch. And to be honest, I'm really glad I put myself through it because it looks absolutely remarkable. It's not as big as I thought it would be. I was expecting it to be maybe up here because people talk about how grandiose and how massive this set is and how difficult it is to display. I don't have any issues displaying it. In fact, it's actually quite narrow. It's only 24 centimeters. It's going to fit on a Billy bookcase even. Practically all of it was coming together very nicely. I was really impressed with the build, and I actually did start to enjoy it towards the end when it came to little subsections like these. Obviously, all of these doors are all their individual little builds, and they're the ones I really enjoyed because when you put them onto the set, it just looks so much more complete, you know. The LEGO Technic aspect of it can be a bit frustrating if you're not the most immersed into LEGO Technic like myself. I don't really like the aesthetic of LEGO Technic. So to have so much of it on the inside was a bit annoying. I managed to get it together easy enough. It was just knowing that I probably got this wrong at some point. I'm going to have to go back, which happened at a few points. In fact, for almost all of the entire building experience, one of the Technic pieces, which had studs on the bottom, I placed one stud forward, which kind of put the whole thing in disproportion. And I put so much stress on so many pieces, and it still didn't break. Nothing broke on me. Right until the roof right here, and it's just happened again. Oh my goodness, it's just happened again. And the issue I had, another one. Oh my god, it's happening now. No. Right, back to it. The issue I had was with these modified 1x1 tiles. You know, the ones that have the kind of grabby bits on top, which have now just they've now decided to crumble on me. I think what's happened there is that this set must have been assembled for some time. I bought this second hand. I didn't want to buy a new one just yet. So that was the only real stage of the build I had any issues. It was with those, with those tiles. Luckily, I was able to retrieve some from some old LEGO Harry Potter sets. For example, the Tri-Wizard Tournament set from 2019 or 2020, and Aragog's Lair. He had some little pincers with some brown grabby bits on them. So I took them away from those sets and put them here, and they still hold up because obviously they're from sets closer to 2020 where I think they fixed the issue by then, or at least I hope they did. So overall the build experience was actually quite enjoyable, merely because once you get through a bag without any pieces breaking, you feel like an absolute god. Nothing quite matches the relief of getting through another part of this build and getting closer to the end without something falling apart on. Down there. Oh, he's done it. He's put the back of it on. Oh, he's put the back of it on. Oh, it's actually looking like a Sandcrawler now. It looks more like an MTT at the moment. I say that as I'm experiencing bits breaking now as I'm filming. And I think seeing the Mandalorian 2026 line gradually get released over the year as we get closer to that Sandcrawler really brought me back into this one, because I don't think I'm interested in those Mandalorian and Grogu sets. It's kind of an opportunity for me to go back on the stuff I missed out on over the years. But I know what you're here for. In 2026, is this worth building? And let me tell you, the exact number of pieces which broke on me during this build. The number, which may surprise you, is 5. Only 5 brittle brown pieces broke on me, and out of all of those, every single one of them was on the roof with those little grabby modified tiles. People are saying, of course, the tiles are fragile. Perhaps they are. Perhaps I would not be able to break this apart. Maybe this is stuck together forever now. But luckily nothing else really broke on me during the build process. Of course, I don't need to explain why that is. I'm sure you know about the brittle brown Lego building experience in the 2010s, but somehow, I don't know if I had the Midas touch, but it didn't really affect me. Something I do find is that the pieces are quite noisy when you're kind of like piecing tiles together. They just sound really, moribund and creaky. And even doing something like that, just stroking my hand across it makes me nervous. As primarily a display piece though, I think it's great, to be honest. It's highly underrated. It's compact enough so you can store it quite adequately, but it's also big enough so that you do get the intricate details across the top on this little roof bit as well. That alone is actually quite detailed, and it does impress me. And of course, not to mention the sheer amount of interactive potential on the inside. You've got all these little carts and things. I wouldn't expect any less from UCS. It is supposed to be the definitive rendition of the build. If you've got a UCS, you're probably not meant to be inclined to get anything else. That was supposed to be the definition of UCS. I think LEGO have forgotten that over the last few years. There shouldn't be bloody minifigures that you can get in the main line that you can't get in the UCS line. That's a completely different subject for another video. We're talking about the UCS here, and I think as a display piece, it's very good. I actually would recommend, if you have got the budget for a sandcrawler, probably get a new one, because there's only really $100 or so difference. And if you're already about to invest in a used sandcrawler, you may as well just go for the new one, just for that assurance that maybe the pieces are a little bit more intact. As a playset, I'd kind of veer away from this one. We've got a really good one coming out in 2026, so if you do intend on getting your hands on it, then probably steer clear of this one if you want all your pieces intact. Which concludes today's video. I hope that gives you some insight on the 2014 sandcrawler, or maybe even allows you to make an informed decision as to whether the investment is going to be worth your due diligence. Signing out for now though. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, as it does help me immensely. I'm on my way to 200 subscribers, so perhaps we can make it within the next couple of months at this rate. I really hope so. Take care. Have a marvellous day.